Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our Season 1, Episode 1 reaction for The Boys on Amazon Prime. This is a show that is bonkers, to say the least.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. And we've been recommended this show by a lot of our friends and readers. And I'm really glad that they recommended this show to us. This show is really good. We're only one episode in, but so far, bonkers. That's the word. It is crazy.
And I just think it's just a good show to watch if you really are demented enough to enjoy some of the twists and turns with it. But I think there is something so much more here. I don't think it's just about shock value. I think we'll probably explore that more as the season goes along, because it has some characters that are interesting just at their core. But before we dive into anything else, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. You know, for me, I think the big appeal to this was just Eric Kripke as a showrunner. He is responsible for Supernatural. He was a co-creator for Timeless. I know he does great character-driven stuff. I knew that this was probably going to be great as well. So far, so good.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Everyone's doing a great job. This really is a great show. I don't know how else to explain it. So far, it's only been one episode, but I'm all in on this show.
I think what it is to me that's appealing is you have sort of this deconstruction of the superhero mythos, what it means to be a superhero, and then also the commodification into this sort of business culture around them where they're almost like athletes, where you sign them to like a 3-year contract, then they can be traded, they can be moved around, there's merchandise all around them, but athletes aren't out there saving people's lives more often than not.
Yeah, and it feels very relevant to just sort of what's going on today with athletes, celebrities, and just superheroes in general. Obviously, we don't have superheroes flying around doing anything, but the superhero game that's going on in the world right now with movies and merchandise and brand deals and all kinds of stuff like that is insane. It's everywhere. There is nowhere that you can't look where there isn't some sort of superhero that you're seeing. So there feels like there is a bit of a balance between the show and kind of what's going on in life. But that idea that the show is bringing to us, where you can have a superhero brought into your city and they're going to bring in tourism and they're going to bring in merchandise and they're going to save your city and brand deals and on and on and on for your city, seems so plausible that if there were superheroes, this would be happening.
And I think so much of this and the entire culture of this show is sort of reflective and our sort of main character from the get-go. And it is these characters that I'm so compelled by, because I think there's two really, really strong leads at the moment. We've got with Huey this, seems like a reasonably young guy. I would say he's probably in his 20s. He's got, a job at an audio video store. He's got a woman who loves him. But then he becomes witness to one of the most horrific, bloody things I have ever seen on television, full stop.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm a licensed funeral director. I've seen a lot in my time working in the morgue. I have never seen anything like this. This was gruesome. It was even just that it was so shocking because I think I didn't see it coming, and just to see it even in the slow motion but still happening fast. I don't know how they pulled that together, but they put it together so beautifully, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah. Because
it is gruesome, but to just see it happen like this with the slow motion blood, to see him holding still her arms, and this guy just running by being like, oh, hey, sorry, bye, and like it was nothing, and it was really powerful.
It was powerful, it was memorable, and it justifies pretty much every emotion that Huey feels for the rest of this episode. I mean, it gets really crazy at the end, mind you, but still, this is a guy who watched a woman he loved just die in front of him just a split second. I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah, and having like pieces of her on him, like I can't imagine what that's like.
And then like beyond just that, to have, okay, after this happens, here you have a hero, someone who's supposed to be good, doing something like this, and then you have an attorney showing up to your place and being like, here, it's 40 grand. It's probably a little bit more than 40 grand. I don't remember the exact number.
Here's 45 grand, which is still nothing for somebody dying like that. And here's an NDA and shut up.
Yeah, just take the money and shut up. You're not getting anything else, especially since, she's not your wife. You don't have any of that sort of connection. So, yeah, and he doesn't want to take it. But I think we see a lot of the nuances with this Huey character throughout this sort of episode, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but let's shift so we're kind of going chronologically here and talk a little bit about our other character, Starlight, who I think is meant to be our other main protagonist.
Yeah, and she was an excellent character to sort of see what's really going on with these superheroes. We needed that inside source to look at it the way that we would look at it if there were superheroes. We've got superheroes running around doing all these wonderful things. You don't hear anything bad about them. They're stopping crime and taking selfies, and she's bright-eyed, the same as everybody else, with this idea, and I have a poster of the Deep on my wall, and I've always wanted to be part of this, and they're so amazing, and then you get into it, and you pull back the curtain and see what they're really like. And what it's all really like. You've got the Deep, who's just straight up terrible. Yeah. You've got Homelander, who's a murderer. Yeah. He's just straight up killing people. It is not what she thought that it was, and not what I think anybody thinks that it is. That's just in the population, watching them do these amazing things.
And it's sad and it's heartbreaking, especially for her, because I like this character so much, and I think you're meant to like her so much, in that she is, got these big dreams and aspirations, and she really wants to be a hero, and then
she meets her hero, which is another lesson. Never meet your hero, because sometimes this'll happen, and it'll just go sideways and be nothing like what you think. It may not be as dark as what was happening here with the Deep and Starlight, but it's still not always great to meet your hero. Sometimes it is, but sometimes not.
The thing that I hope for Starlight, at least after this, is that she's going to be able to use this just horrendous thing that happens to her as motivation for her to be better, not just in terms of being a hero, but being a representative, and hopefully eventually, casting a light on some of these other bad people. This is not going to be easy, because she's going into this world full of, superstars, and
who are already basically do what I say or we'll cast you out. So it's almost like she needs to take some time to build her own star so that she can then pull back the curtain. The problem is now some of these things have happened that are going to be a bit of a skeleton in the closet that will come out if she says anything.
Yeah, and that adds, I think, to just sort of the complicated landscape of the show right now. But what happened to her, it's reflected in society and a lot of other places, and it's terrible, and it's also topical to what's real. And I think that's what The Boys is trying to establish, not just with this, but a lot of the different stories in this episode. And they want to make it seem real.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why one of the scenes I enjoyed the most was seeing Starlight meeting up with Huey on that bench at a happenstance meeting where they're just both in the same sort of frame of mind. Terrible things are happening. Yeah. They both are trying to find some inner strength. They're both trying to be that hero in their own lives, and they kind of needed to meet.
They needed to meet, and it also sets up, I think, what is the juiciest storyline for this entire show now, and that with the help of Billy Butcher, FBI agent, we see Huey infiltrate the Seven's headquarters and try to plant a bug, and that, of course, leads to the confrontation and the death of their invisible man at the end of this episode. So now,
who was just such a creep.
Yeah, that guy was the worst. Well, actually, I don't know. Him and the Deep, they're both in contention to be the worst.
Homelander's killing
Yes,
people
that's
for
also
no
true.
reason.
Okay, trying to come up with a power ranking of who's the worst person on the boys is a very difficult thing to do.
Well, I mean, he's not killing people for no reason, but he's straight up murdering people.
Yeah.
Everybody is bad.
They're all bad. They're all terrible. And, this has happened now, and Huey is just on a mission because A-Train has just done what he's done.
Yep.
And it's like the one person that he has befriended just so happens to now be a part of this group.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I'm so excited. I hope it happens this season. I'm so excited for that moment when he finds out. Like,
Yeah, who she actually is.
yeah, like, is he going to judge her just based on that? Or is she going to be able to be like, I know that I'm a part of this, but it's not what you think. I know these people are bad. What else am I supposed to do? I want to try to maybe change.
But she may not be able to actually tell him that she knows that they're bad. That's the other thing of it, because of what happened with the Deep. She may just be stuck.
Yeah, and that would just... I cannot even put into words how upset I will be if that's the case, where we just live out the rest of this show and she's not...
It may have to be Huey and the Butcher getting it together and trying to figure out a way to deal with this. After they deal with the fact that they have this invisible man now being carted away in their trunk, I guess.
Yeah, that's some...
They have some other problems, some really big problems.
There's some breaking news for Huey, and that is as close as I'm going to get to making a Huey Lewis in the News joke in this entire video series. You're welcome. I'm really appealing to all the young people with this reference. But yes, it was a crazy, crazy ending to this where... I guess...
What a cool fight scene, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that out there. I was very curious to see how Billy was going to be able to take on this invisible opponent and how badly this was going to go for him. What a smart move to be able to see where he is, to spit blood on him, to be able to give something of him. These two are now in it together, Huey and Billy, and I'm really excited about that. I was kind of like, oh man, he's just dropping them back off at the audio shop. Well, that sucks. I was hoping to see these two together because they're of course the two opposites of the spectrum, and I want to see that relationship continue on to see if they can figure something out to take down the team without killing them all off, because that doesn't seem like the best way to go about it.
The thing here is that you've got one dead body. I mean, it is invisible, so you can kind of hide the invisible dead body anywhere, right?
Yeah, but eventually they're going to figure out he's missing because he's not going to show up. And I'm sure that's going to be big news. He's one of the 7. Nobody knows where he is. Yeah, he's invisible, but he's not someone who's just going to disappear. He clearly likes being part of this powerful group, being a star, and now he's just gone. This is going to be pandemonium.
And I think the other question is, did he tell anyone about what he was up to prior to that battle at the end? Because, if they don't know right now, then maybe Huey has like a tiny bit of time in order to sort of collect himself, figure out his next steps. He may not be targeted right away, but I mean, you got to tell him this place has got to have some sort of security cameras, right?
Yeah, and the other thing I was wondering about is the bug. I mean, this invisible man came and was like, boop.
Yeah.
Here's this bug. What, you think I wasn't going to find out? It's sitting on the counter. So I don't know what he's done with the bug. Has he smashed the bug? Because it still looked like it was intact. Is there anything on it anymore? Has he removed it? Has he removed all the evidence from it? Has he told somebody? Like, there's still a lot of questions surrounding what he put on the counter and who knows what.
Yeah, and I think what I'm so excited about now is if this information does get out, like, what does the superhero crisis management team look like once everything starts to sort of fall apart a little bit? Is there a mad scramble to find new superheroes? It doesn't seem like you can just pick them out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I mean, we have, I guess, who's their manager, Madeline, who's organizing all the deals and wheeling and dealing everybody. Oh, this superhero will go here and this one will go here. So, I mean, she's got to have some sort of way to deal with these types of crises. I'm sure she's got something in plan.
I'm sure there's ideas out there. I'm sure we'll get to them very soon. The Boys doesn't exactly have a ton of episodes in season 1. Hopefully they'll all be jam-packed, but I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, yeah, it was dark. It was weird.
Oof, it was dark. Woof. I mean, we're not going to get into some of the dark stuff that was going on in this. We'll just say that club scene, woof, so dark. There's so much dark material in this show. It's a tough show. A good show, but definitely a tough one.
The dark material here is worse than anything in his dark materials.
I knew you were going there. As soon as I said it, I was like,
you threw the ball in the air and boom. All right, yeah, thank you all. I'm sure in between that and the Huey Lewis and the News reference, this video is the coolest, most hip version of The Boys.
Yep, that's right.
That's what we go for here. But anyway,
hopefully you'll stick around with us old farts and go through the rest of this with us.
But if you guys watch episode 1, let us know what you thought about it in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us more by checking the link in the description to the Carter Matt store. And we'll see you here next time.